Everybody, welcome back to the Gamble Smart channel. It is Monday. That means it is Q&A Monday, where we take questions and comments that we received from all the videos from last week, as well as our live chat from last week, and we pick about 4 each, and we answer them for you today. And so we hope you join in on a lot of fun. We're going to talk about a lot of different things today, different topics, and answer some of your questions. So without further ado, let's get started.
All right, before we get started, we've got a couple of reminders. One, the Windover event in 2 weeks in Windover, Nevada. You want to make sure to go ahead and hit on that. We're going to put a link down for there to sign up for interest. Also, G2E, October 7th through 10th. On October 7th, we will be having a meetup, and we're going to put that link down there to also register for that. You need to register, and then we're going to send you an RSVP to where it says, like, this is the time, and you're going to have a couple of questions on there, and we need to know a head count. Both events are limited to 100 people. Our event, meet and greet, is already at over 57. So we're going to hit that 100 pretty soon. So don't be left out. Also, we're going a little bit more environmentally friendly here for our shipping. We've been using these little envelopes. They do have like a plastic bubble wrap inside. They've been really great. They were really affordable when I got them, but we have now changed to a completely 100% recyclable material. So
awesome. Thinking about the environment
and stuff there.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Got to do that. All right. Well, thank you, Dave. Let's jump into the questions, and I'll pull up my first one here. And this is from Street Guru 9350. He's actually quoting something I said in one of my videos. Until you double your money, that's something I said. He says that's never going to happen. I disagree. I think that we double our money quite often, actually. Not all the time. It's still gambling, right? But we do double our money a lot of times. We sit down in the slot machine and we always commit ourselves to double or nothing. I mean, that's typically what we do. We put 20 bucks in and say 40 bucks we're out, $0 we're out. Either way. Or if it's 100 bucks, we get up to 200 we're out, or back to 0 we're out.
Right. Exactly.
The problem is that people don't know how to just double up and then leave. They put it all back in, right? So you can absolutely double your money on a slot machine. And chances are you've actually done it before, but you probably don't remember it because you just kept playing and you went all the way back down to 0. So if you follow our tips about budget management, setting your high and low limits when you sit down on the slot machine, I guarantee you at some point you will double your money on a slot machine. But what you do after that is what you really got to pay crucial attention to, right? So
absolutely.
There you go. I disagree on that one. You can't double your money.
You're in the pilot seat. We can only tell you what the best thing to do is. You have to execute. That's absolutely it. We cannot be there holding your hand. That is an extra charge. We will be willing to talk about that for sure.
That's right. You'll be a little angel and the devil on the shoulder, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. All right, Dave. What you got?
All right. First of all, I've got a comment to start with. So my first question is going to be actually a comment. Hey, guys. This is from Linda Owens. Hey, guys. Love watching you play like an average player, which we do. We play like we play. That's how we play. We don't try to play big for the camera. We play how we normally play. Always great info and advice. Oh, never miss a video. I love that. I love that they never miss a video, probably because they hit that bell to stay notified. And that lets them know when we go live.
There's a good plug.
Yeah, because we're going to go live a lot in Windover, in Jackpot, in G2E. We're going to be going live sporadically. Like, there won't be a schedule that we can really follow. It will just be, hey, we're going live. We will definitely try to schedule something for G2E for a live, like maybe Wednesday, maybe even our live from the floor. Could be. Yeah. We'll see how that happens. But make sure to hit that bell to stay notified. And thank you very much, Linda.
Awesome. Yeah. Bell is super important, especially with us. Like Dave said, we're terrible at scheduling things. But I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, the reason we don't is because if you guys have ever tried to go live in a casino before, maybe you have a YouTube channel out there, you have to test the waters. You got to see if the Wi-Fi is good, if your cell phone signal's good. We don't want to plan something and then it completely crash, because then people get really frustrated. So we test things out, and if everything looks good, boom, we go live. And we want you to join in on the fun and ringing that bell. Now, whether YouTube wants to notify you or not, that's outside our control.
Yeah, it's outside our control on that one.
Sometimes they don't, even if you click the bell, sometimes they don't do it. So there it is. All right. So Stephen Karam 8739 says, and this was in relation to the video where I was talking about all the confirmation biases that we have inside of the casino. He says, I agree. Everyone does this 100%. I won 3 days in a row. Then I went one night and lost it all. Shake my head. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Whenever you're on a winning streak, what does your brain tell you? It tells you got to keep winning, right? You're doing so well. Keep pushing it, keep pushing it, keep pushing it. But I'm telling you, if you keep doing that, eventually it's going to bite you in the butt. Okay. That's just the way gambling works. And especially with slot machines, this is certainly how it works. You are not going to win every single time. So don't go crazy thinking that you've had such a good run of luck that that luck is going to continue forever and ever and ever. It's not. Okay. You will bite the bullet eventually. But that is why putting in controls in place is important. So if you did have 3 days of winning, why did you take all 3 days of those winnings and then play the fourth day? You should have played with just a small amount of that so that you can bank that money that you won those first 3 days. Man, go buy something, pay some bills, give it to a friend, donate it, do something with that money instead of thinking that your luck's going to continue forever and ever and ever. So that we hear this a lot. I've been through this a bunch of times. Okay, there has been times where I've been out to Vegas, and it seems like every single trip I'm doing so well. I always hit something good. I play my machines, I do well, and so I book another trip to Vegas, and I go out there and I don't hit anything. Like it's just brutal, right? That's going to happen. That's absolutely going to happen. But you should always be sticking to your budgets no matter what, and don't take your winnings, your excesses from those other ones, and put it all back in thinking that, oh, it's just expendable money at this point. No, do something with those winnings. You really should. That's what I want you to think about. All right, Dave.
And actually, funny enough, I was out to dinner last night wearing my shirt, and a guy came up to me and said, "Oh, what's your channel about?" and all this stuff. And I was like, told him, and he was telling me everything he and his wife do right when they go on a trip. They take that money, no bills, no money associated with that. It's all entertainment. And he even used the word entertainment a lot, which I love that.
Good.
They put it in the safe and then they divvy it out each day. And I said, another thing you can do is break all that up into envelopes. And when that money is gone, you do something else. So essentially 3 sessions per day per each of them, envelopes labeled in those sessions. So they have to go back up to the room after each session. They have to take a break. And when the money's gone, they're gone. Yep. And I said, okay, what do you do with your winnings? And he said, we usually just put it right back in. I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't think of your winnings as playable money. Your winnings should
Dave.
be winnings. So you stay with your budget. So if I'm on day 2, session 3, and I win $2,000, and I only have 3 sessions budget each day, that $2,000 comes home with me, and I have my day 4, session 1, 2, and 3. And then that way, it's like that money is there, and that'll be good for your next trip. Once you set your budget, don't play around with your winnings. Play with that money, and then when you're done, you take that rest of it home. Even if it's $10, even if it's $10 winnings, I don't care.
Win is a win.
Scroll it away. Yep. Exactly.
I think that brings up a really good point, Dave. I love what you said there. And I think that whenever you are taking that break, like Dave said, after you finish your session envelope and you go up to your room to take the break, while you're on your break, think about something. Look at the rest of the envelopes that you have, or look at the winnings that you have from that session and say, what can this do for me outside of the casino? Maybe you've been wanting the new iPhone. Can this buy the new iPhone? Okay. Then don't gamble with that anymore. Go buy your new iPhone, celebrate the win, and do something with it. You're taking the casino's money. They're going to want it back, but you have control over going and doing something with those winnings, right? So maybe that's something to consider during your breaks, is to say, man, I've always wanted to buy so-and-so or whatever, or maybe I have this bill that's been nagging me for a while and I need to pay it off. Do it. Do it right there on your break. Pay the bill off. You know what I mean? So
if it's during the week
with it,
or early on a Saturday or even Sunday, I mean, nowadays, go to your local bank, take an Uber to your local bank, deposit that money, get it out of your hands. Yeah. And especially if you have a bill to pay, you can then instantly pay that bill. That money's gone forever and it's paid for something due. If you wanted that iPhone, there is an Apple store inside Caesar shops. Go there and get your iPhone, pay cash for it, and you're done. Something like that. Don't let it just sit there burning a hole in the pocket.
Yeah. Or burn a hole in the slot machines.
Yeah. Oh, look, I have this money I forgot about. No, you don't have that money. That's your winnings you're taking home.
Forgot about it. Let's go to the high limit room. No.
Let's go to the high limit room. No. All right. So Dave, I've got a question here. This is about earning comps and money from Crystal Doll 282. I have a question that's off topic. It's okay, Crystal. We don't really have topics. Free play is what I most want, and then free food, and then possibly free room. I saw another channel talking about how to earn points free play. The channel explained if you use $500 bankroll and do $20 spins and lose it all, and then compared it if you do $500 bankroll and say $5 spins and you lost it all again. The only matters is how long you've played. Yet your loss of your bankroll in both scenarios, so it's even, you're both losing $500. So it seems that low rolling and making staying longer power, so that doesn't discourage higher betting. If so, they want you to play longer and give you the chance to lose big and return that money, which is also true. Yes, they want you to play longer. It seems sneaky to me. Do you agree with this? So in a portion, I do. However, I want to address the first part of your comment there of you're trying to earn the free play and earn the food and earn the night stay. I think you need to flip-flop that. Night stay and food should be first, because night stay is going to get you there and lower the most amount of your trip expense. Food is going to be next. Gambling money is in a separate pile, but free play doesn't really compile the same way as it does for food and stays. Most always you're getting stays first. Then they're probably going to float you a little bit of free play, and then they're probably going to float you a little bit more food credit, because they're always thinking about two people usually when they're doing that food credit. So kind of flip-flop that around. Free play is never going to be what you want of what you're putting in. You're never going to get anywhere close to 50%, 10% of what you put in versus free play you get out. It's like probably closer to 1% of what you put in versus what you get out. The $500, this is correct. It's $500 is $500, whether you play $20 of spins or $5 of spins. The difference being is that if you're playing $5 spins, you have a much longer window to hit different wins and to make that money roll up longer. And so we're going to look at coin in, which would initial coin in would be $500 on both. However, your chances of hitting on $20 spins and that $500 are much lower. So your coin in play, the churn that happens, is going to be a lot bigger with those $5. That $500 could easily be a couple of $1,000 at the end of your session. And so that would look better. There is a little asterisk I'm putting on this. Higher denomination bets go into a different pool, while $500 is not going to get you there no matter how high you bet. If you bet $500 spin for one spin, that's one spin. You don't win. That's it, done. They're not going to look the same as that. They want to see play. So if you're betting, let's say, a $5,000 budget at $20 spins, that is going to get the same attention, or sorry, not going to get the same attention as that $5 $500. And so if you're up at this level, they are definitely see that as a difference. And that is taken into account. That is called your sort of player average, your Theo, your marked play. So you say, hey, can someone rate my play? If you're betting $20 spins, let's just say, for instance, $10 times 2, you'd be a $10 player. If you're doing $5 spins, let's say $250 times 2, you'd essentially be a $1 player, or $5 player if you get rounded up. And so that would be the difference in those two. I wouldn't chase either one. Remember, you're not going to chase that free play. You're not going to chase the comps. They're just going to happen to your natural play. Be aware of how they're accumulated, but don't chase them.
Good advice. Well said, Dave. Lots of detail in there, so I hope you guys pay attention.
Well, you know.
That's right.
We all get involved in the chase, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely true. If you play slots long enough, you can be the strongest willed person ever, but you're gonna fall victim to the chase at some point.
Yep.
All right. D Zirkle says, unless you get really lucky, there's no such thing as building a bankroll on low volatility machines. Every machine is built to take money on average. That part is true. You're much more likely to erode your bankroll than build anything. The entire casino and the entire building around it exists because of this fact. No, the entire reason the casino is there and the building around it is there is because people don't know when to stop.
That's true. Oh, swear jar.
Oh,
Sparkly
God.
jar.
Okay, I see it in sight. I'll put something in there.
Ah, ah, ah.
That is the reason why casinos are built on losers, is because people don't know when to stop. You can
Yep.
absolutely bankroll build on low volatility games. The problem is people don't know how to really do that. They do it, but never satisfied enough with the win. So they keep playing and playing and playing until they're down to zero. Okay. That is something we go very much against on this channel, is that concept of ignoring your wins, just go for the jackpot or just go for the hand pay, or play the low volatility games until you triple your money. No, you got to take those small wins and leave and quit and do
Yep.
things like that. That is what casinos are built on. The mentality of people not knowing when to stop. Okay, that's what we're trying to say. It is still a slot machine. The second thing that you said in there is that a machine is built to take your money over time on average. Absolutely. That part is 100% true. Slot machines have a house advantage across the board, but maybe not so much in the short term. And you can take advantage of that if you know when to stop and walk away. If you don't know when to do that, then you absolutely are going to fall into that bucket of funding the casino and everything that's built around it, right? So, yeah, I mean, I agree, but I have to disagree. That's the problem, and we see it everywhere. We see it on YouTube. We see it in person. People are never. We've done it. We're never satisfied on a machine until we get a bonus round, or we get a progressive, or we get triple our money, or a hand pay, and we're never satisfied until we reach that level. But what we're trying to say is you need to erase that level from your mind and concentrate on the small levels, the small gains, turning 100 into 150. That doesn't sound significant, but that's $50 that you won off of playing a game that is fun to play. I mean, where else can you do
Entertainment.
that? Yes. So take the $50, go have a nice steak dinner, or everything that we talked about so far. Do that, and then you can screw with the casinos, because that's not what they want. They want you to always play it down to zero, but you got to be strong enough to not do that. So, all right, hope that makes sense.
It's all
Off
up
to
to
Dave.
you. Yeah.
It is up to you.
Okay.
Yep.
This is from Harley Shih Tzu 5558. Is there an advantage to link my player's card with my wife's? We both have 30,000 points. Will they add the points together? Will we have 60,000 points? And can we advance for the next tier? We're at Boyd Properties, and the next tier is 50,000 points for a lot more perks. Love the channel. Lots of hearts. Okay. So, Harley, linking cards has its advantages and disadvantages. You want to make sure to look at the program details and especially ask the player's desk on what the specific gotchas are. The number one gotcha of it is no, they will not merge those points. You won't have all those points together unless they do something specific at Boyd that would give you those, but most places do not transfer the points to be one pool. The other is that only one person gets the offers. So if you go gambling more, then you want it to be under your account. If your wife goes gambling more, you want it to be under her account, because when you travel in the future, the main person has to be there to get those comps. So you have to make sure that that's going to fit in line with your travel. Paying attention to those little details in the players program on merging cards is everything. It can be extremely advantageous for couples to merge their cards because they do earn points together, and that accumulates quickly on one account. But there are lots of little asterisks in those little things, the 1 asterisk, the 2 asterisks, the 10 asterisks, all the way down at the bottom. So make sure you're aware of all those. Hope that helps.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. And you can always ask the player's desk, go up there and say, hey, we want to combine cards. What are the pros and cons of doing that? Let them list them out for you. So you
And
fully
ask for one
understand
of
what
those
they've said.
pamphlets that explains it all and match up what they say to that pamphlet.
That's right. Good point.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Absolutely. All right. Last question for me, and that is from GLD Raso 666. All right. Category 2, he's talking about class 2 machines. Don't really feel much different than class 3 machines to me. That's right. They're meant to feel the same way. And in fact, over time, they're getting closer and closer. Okay. There used to be a pretty big division between class 2 and class 3 machines. Okay. Class 2 started out as just being the VGT bingo style machines, and that was it. Okay. But over the last decade or so, they have made games like Lightning Link, Huff and Puff, Pinball Double Gold, regular pinball. All of those games are now in Class 2 variants, but they play and feel exactly the same. And that's by design. They have been able to build it around the Class 2 system so it's comfortable, it's familiar, and the odds play out the same. Okay. So, yes, that's why we say nowadays it really doesn't make a humongous difference if you're playing Class 2 and Class 3 of a certain style of game. Okay. We always recommend the VGT slots because they're very simple. They're like double diamond type style machines. But if you do find your favorite game and you happen to see a bingo card on it, don't say, "Oh man, I got to get off this machine because it's gonna drain me dry." No, that's not the way it works. They have built it around so it feels very, very familiar. And in fact, I haven't seen it visually, but there was a slot technician that told me that he saw the Class 2 and Class 3 par sheets, which is basically the explanation on how the game plays out of a dragon game. I'm not going to say which one it was because I don't remember at the time. And they were identical. So the way that randomness was occurring is completely separate. One is an RNG, one is a bingo system. But from what that was picking from, the pay tables were exactly the same across the board. Okay. And that will basically prove to you that they are the same, at least how it feels and plays out. So don't be afraid of Class 2 machines. There's a bad feeling out there. People feel like, oh, it's Class 2, it's bingo. They're usually associated with tribal casinos, and that's all bad stuff. No, it's not. It's a big myth.
Not at all.
Those are not bad things whatsoever. So feel comfortable playing those Class 2 games. And yes, they are very similar to Class 3. All right.
My last question here is from Teddy Lou 888. All right. So this is a very long statement. I'm going to paraphrase a few things out. Hi, Dave. Always love you and Mark's Gamble Smart channel. I have a question regarding the host. Speaking of host, my host is rude. Reason why I'm saying that is every time I've tried to book, she always wanted to get me off the phone while I was asking questions in terms of free play, etc., etc. Always seems like she's rushing me. At one time, she hung up on me. When I called her back, she said she had another call. What can I do about this? Can I get another host? So absolutely you can. A host is supposed to be essentially your cruise director, your director through the casino. Hey, how can I help you? Your travel agent, all that stuff. You're supposed to be able to call this person. They're supposed to do everything for you. They have the best job in the world. They get to just give stuff to people. Yes, you have to kind of earn it, but at the same time, that's their job. They should be nothing but friendly and helpful and courteous. If they are not, the best thing to do would be to call the casino and ask to speak to either the manager over host, the director over host, the VP of host services. They may call it player development services. Ask to speak to someone higher up and just tell them your concerns that you would like to see if another host would be interested in taking your account on. You don't have to go into detail if you don't feel comfortable in doing that. They need to grasp what you're saying from that topic alone is that I would like to change. Hosts should never be rude. I have heard hosts that are rude and that people are no longer with those hosts. Myself, I have had a host who was not great to deal with. Thankfully, he was moved to another account, but I did find the information on how to email their boss. And, I had an email ready to go. And then the next day I got a thing saying they're being transferred somewhere else. So that worked out really well for me. But at the same time, do not take someone being rude to you when you are giving them money. So the reason she took another call is because that call was more important than you. And that every time they're talking to a customer, that should be the most important thing on their mind right then. And so definitely don't take that. Try to get a different host. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, well said, Dave. Yeah, I think
I
of them
can't
as
imagine.
like car salesmen. It's like if
Right.
one guy is just not behaving or not, you're not melding with them, go get another one. Like it's fine. Most casinos have more than one host, and
Right.
yeah, I mean, I've fired several hosts before where, until I settled on my all-star guy until he left, and now I've got a bad host again. So it happens. Like, they just, for whatever reason, they prioritize other people differently. And, that's not a good fit for you. They should certainly not be rude to you. That's bad. That's really bad. So
I did have one more thing I wanted to throw in.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a specific question. It was just a couple of many questions across that video I did about hosts. So the one thing is, why do you need a host? What's a host going to do for you? I can book my own rooms. Absolutely. I do it all the time. I don't bother. I don't have a host. I have a player communication specialist. Not the best, but at the same time, I do it all myself. Mark has switched to where he just books it all himself as well, since his great host is gone. You don't need a host to book your trip. They're not going to give you much of anything extra if your play doesn't register for it. However, if you have a host and you want show tickets and the show is sold out, that host will have a great ability to make show tickets disappear or appear. Same thing with dinner reservations. You have a restaurant you want to go to and there are no openings. Your host is probably going to be able to work that out. So, yes, there are specific reasons why a host is great, but you can do most of the work yourself. Absolutely. But that 1% of what hosts do is pretty important to most players.
There you go. That's a good summary. Love it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Q&A for today. Don't forget all of our reminders that we said earlier about registering for the West Wendover event, which is the Cowboy Slots Days, as well as our G2E event. We have 57 filled already. That means we only have 43 spots left. So make sure you guys, we still got months away and we're already half full. So make sure that you, ooh, love it.
Look at that. New cards. New cards came in. Look at that.
Looking good.
Pretty. I like that.
Looking good. All right. So, yeah, we're set. We're excited. We can't wait. We want to fill it up. We want a full 100 people. I know we'll get there. So make sure that you fill out that form so we know you're coming. And don't forget to check out our website at gamblesmart.net. We've got merch. We've got tips, all of our daily tips. The biggest ones are up there for you to scroll through and figure out which ones you want to watch and all that good stuff. But as always, guys, have a wonderful week out there. And don't forget to gamble smart.
Gamble safe.
We'll see you later, guys. Bye.
Have a good one.